Hey guys, and welcome back to Cheap Tuesdays. It has been far too long. It's been far too long for a video in general, but I'm back. We've got some more Cheap Tuesdays coming out soon. Free plugin Friday will be back again, hopefully this week, if not next week, and a few other videos. But today we are gonna look at a really cool pedal. So Sonicake, I did their Crybot, this little baby here. I think, was it last Cheap Tuesdays? It was a couple of months ago. Reached out, said they'll send me some pedals to review, and they've given me a few, but we're mainly going to start with the Rude Mouse, which we have here, which by its name is intended to get that rat style distortion, one of my favorite styles of distortion, and I love reviewing rat style pedals, so this is going to be fun. Let's unbox it, get some guitars, get some tones going, and see what this baby can do. So it comes in a fairly simple box, like a lot of the Chinese pedals. You get the pedal, obviously it comes with this little thing here. You also get a nice little Velcro strip cut out for the pedal, which is great if you Velcro to your board like I do. And then a very simple but effective instruction manual. So let's turn it this way. Yeah, you can see. I don't know if you can read that on the little GoPro camera, but basically this is how you should be doing manuals. Especially if you have a kind of different audiences, but you want to make one like this is obviously the English manual for the English speaking countries, which a lot of people playing are going to be at least knowing enough English to use the pedals. And it's just simple. It's not a waste of paper. It can put it in your wallet, which is cool. And yeah, got all the instructions on what the different things do. So let's go through a couple of features and plug it in and get some tones. So like any rat pedal, we have gain control, level control, and a filter. Now we're going to see if this filter works like the filter usually does, and the further you go up, the more that it low passes, or if it goes the other way. It really depends on what pot they use. It's basically functioning the same. The original rats higher was less filter, so brighter. And then they changed the pot or rewired the pot. Can't exactly remember. There is a great JHS video on rats. Go check that out. I'll probably put that link below so you can find out more. But it doesn't really make a difference. It's just where you put the knob generally. That's going to be the difference. Sometimes the taper is going to be different because different pots have different tapers, obviously. But that's going to happen anyway. And then we've got a two-way switch. So if we look at the instructions here, it says classic and hot. Warm vintage, distortion sound, and then hot is louder and brighter, which I'm just gonna guess is silicon clipping and LED clipping like nearly all, which is the actual Rat 2, or the Rat, they're all pretty much the same circuit. And then what they did is they put LEDs in it and called it the Turbo Rat. The Turbo Rat's actually my favorite kind of Rat that I've played. LEDs have just got this brighter, louder, cleaner sound. I like LEDs in card clipping circuits. They're not as mushy. They've got this kind of aggression to them. Really like that. So we're going to try it out. It's the same as the Black Rat, if you remember our review on that. It's a bit of a while ago. That has vintage and turbo. It'd be the same. Now, just quickly on the case, this is kind of more of your Moore quality, or let's see what other pedals. It's a little bit better than the Mosky. It's a little bit heavier. It feels like a better built switch, a bit sturdier. Pots feel good. Same as your Moore, but this is considerably cheaper. Put the price down below. I can't remember. With COVID, prices are changing really quickly on these Chinese-made pedals, but the current kind of price you can buy it, I think they have an eBay store. Anyway, I'll link that all below so you can find out, but it's considerably cheaper than the Moore. I am aware of that. So let's plug it in. Let's get some tones. Okay, so we're going to start off running the J&D. We're running into my AC50. This is tuned down half a step in drop C sharp. So We're going to get the heavier tones first. Then we're going to go to the opposite side of the scale and plug the blue telly in. Haven't played that in a while, but that's going to be your single coil kind of thing. The great thing I love about Rats is they actually love single coils. Sometimes with humbuckers, they can become a bit muddy, a bit overpowered, especially with higher output, medium to high output humbuckers. This is a custom 15, which is a custom 14, sorry. Which is kind of your medium, but it is kind of overwound compared to a PAF or something. And often Rat style pedals prefer slightly less gain. What you can do is use something like a tube screamer or something that cuts low end in front of a Rat and bring the volume down a little bit. That can help. We may do that later, we'll see. We have time, but yeah, single coils are great, so we will get to them. But I still think heavy tones can be really cool. So this is what we've got clean in the Brilliant channel. So you can hear that the humbucker here is starting to break up just a little bit when I hit hard. If we go to the single coil on the neck, it's kind of crystal clear. That's just going to happen with this kind of humbucker. Like I said, medium, higher output. It's going to break up most amps, even this. But yeah, that's kind of our clean tone, and it still has enough headroom. So let's start off everything at 12 o'clock. It's probably not going to sound great. Rats generally don't go. 12 o'clock isn't really what they're for because of the filter control. But let's have a look. We'll keep it on the classic. Let's just hear what it sounds like out of the box. There's a little bit of a dodgy switch thing going on here. Even though this is a fairly new switch. It's got a bad selection, I guess. But that is fine. So... Okay, I'm going to say straight away, that sounds great. The 12 o'clock thing I didn't expect to work because on a lot of the Rat clones I've tried, the filter taper really goes to one end of the pot, but this seems to be a really well figured out kind of taper so that it works across the pot. So let's first get the level kind of the same as clean. That is pretty close, 12 o'clock, again. Most of the cheaper Chinese-made pedals I've tried, those tapers aren't great. So Sonicake, right out of the park, got the settings right. So let's mess with the filter. Let's just see what it's capable of. So straight away, that is how I expect it to be. It's basically a Rat 2 at this point. Yeah, keep looking down at the pedal, but yeah, it's got that proper range. It gets real kind of gnarly and bitey at one end and nice and dark without like getting too muddy. Like, it's not useless all the way in, it's just a really dark sound. If you've got a really bright amp, you've got the bright switch on, if we go back to my clean, you'll hear that there is brightness to it, but there's a fair bit of mids and stuff. It's the EL34s, but you've got a really scoop tone with lots of high end for your clean, then you might want to use some of that filter to bring that back down. It's probably not going to be too dark. Okay, let's have a look at the gain range. Now that's common on nearly every Rat pedal I've played. It's pretty much useless on 0, but get to about here. crunch tone, really. Great, let's go back to where we were in the middle. That's where it really starts to thicken up. Let's push it up. Ooh, listen to how the noise kind of molds there. It really thickens up. Okay, so that's just cream-tastic. You do lose a little bit of clarity, but we can always compensate with this filter control, which we really mess with there. But that just gets really creamy, and those thick mids gets real fuzzy, but doesn't fart out. Look, they sent me these pedals, but I did not expect it to be this good. This is definitely, like, no offense to the Mosky, this pedal is way better. Way better. I think maybe I'll do a shout out between this, the Mosky, and my Retro Sonic, which is my go-to route. The problem with the Retro Sonic is it kind of bottoms out on drop D and stuff, which is a cool sound, but it gets this real kind of fuzzy farty thing going on. This isn't doing it as much, but it's still got all that cream and crunch. Yeah, we're on the classic mode still, and I'm loving it. Let's just adjust the filter. Damn, that sustain. Now this is a single coil. It looks like a P90, but it's really more like an overwound Strat pickup. The bobbin's a bit smaller, like a Strat pickup. And man, that's some great sustain. As an alternative to like that big muff violin sustain, but with way more mids and kind of richer, that is great. I haven't played that many rats that are that good at that sustain. So let's switch to the hot mode, I think it's called, which is basically your turbo rat. When I get a boost in level, we'll compensate, but I just want to show it. Yeah, now we're talking. This is where I fall in love. Let's try it on the low gain. Switch back to classic, more level. Now you can hear it's a little bit more dynamic. There's a bit more bark to the mids. That's what I love about LED clipping. Okay, let's bring that gain up. Oh, that creaminess. A bit more fuzz-like. Now it's losing a lot of its composure there, it's crumbling and stuff, but that's what is nice. It's almost fuzz like distortion. Let's bring it back about midway. Let's try the neck again. Both pickups, but with the single coil on the bridge, so it's split. Okay, so I'm gonna go switch to the Telecaster. So we've got some single coil bridge tones, some of that kind of thing. But so far, this thing is great. It does what I want it to do. If I'm buying this kind of distortion pedal, there is a lot of copies on the market. There's so many, nearly every cheap manufacturer does it. And a lot of them get that sound, but the compromise is often bad tape, or you've got to put the controls in one position to get that one sound and the rest of them sound bad. This seems to sound good on all settings. Gives you a lot more of that versatility. So let's switch up to the Tele and see how it sounds with that. Okay, we've swapped to the Parente T-Type, which is an Ace Guitars made Telecaster copy. It's actually a Telecaster, but these are parts that I believe from a factory that makes licensed parts from Fender. I could be wrong. I think so, because it means they're allowed to have that shape. But let's listen to it with these. This is a very different sounding guitar to the J&D. A lot brighter, a lot more dynamic, because now we're not really compressing the front end of the Vox at all. So we're like really clean now, like probably too clean. But let's try it out. I'll just quickly retune. Okay, we're gonna keep the settings where we had them, and then we're gonna mess around, go between the modes and such. can see the filter's really useful there to cut down on some of that twang, but it's still coming through the pedal. Let's switch back to classic mode. Let's see if we can get some. Okay, that sounds great. That sounds incredible. Don't forget this is what the telly sounds like by itself. Which isn't a bad sound, but because there's a lot of headroom going on, it's a little bit kind of too clean. And then this thing is just roaring. Switch to the neck. Okay, I'm getting a little lost in the sauce there. It is fun. Okay, again, they sent me these pedals, but that's not why I'm singing praises. Like, literally my gut feeling just playing this is the first time I played it. Gut feeling just playing it, it's like, does what I want to. It responds how I want to. It sounds what I want to. The controls do what I want to. So go check it out. Links below, I think, for at least I'll find a store or the Sonicake shop. I think depending on where you are, I know most of my listeners and viewers are in the US because it's population and the guitar community. So that's where you're going to have to find where you can get it, if you can get it. I know we could get it in Australia, so I'll link that as well. And we're going to have reviews on, I think, the Blue Screamer and the Shark. They'll be coming out soon. They're the other two pedals I'm trying from Sonicake, and if they're anything like this, it's going to be very, very fun. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like I said, hopefully we're going to get some more videos out at least next week, Free Plugin Friday, if not this week. I'll see you there. See you next time.